Hey YouTube, it's September 15th. Looks like it's supposed to be a sunny day in Pennsylvania, at least where we are. And I wanted to do a little bit of checking of the moisture in the greenhouse here. Excuse me. I just set up a thermometer outside so that I could compare this to the temperature that occurs when the sun hits the solar kiln. You can see it's 70 in there, and it's 62 out here. So the sun's just barely hitting it, coming from the east over there through the trees, and I think you can see that, yeah. And I just want to check, give you an idea what's taking place here. I'm gonna get the cap off of my freaking moisture meter. So anyway, I have this moisture meter. It's made by General. It has a thing for masonry and wood, and I have it set on wood. And just to give you an example of some of the things. Now this is 2 maple 4x4s here that were laying outside for about a month. I'm going to use these for table legs, and right now I'm just using them for the weight to hold the other boards down that's underneath them, which is red oak. You can see that the reading there, I know it's upside down, but you can see that the reading there is 19%. So okay, that's not real bad considering that it was sitting out in the rain. Now this board here is this board here has been out here for a week. Let me just change this back to wood here, and you can see the reading on that is 20%. The ones on the bottom here, closer to the bottom of the stack, have been in here for probably 2 weeks. 19%. Okay. The ones on the bottom here have been in here for probably about a month. And you can see they're down to 15% there. And this is just it's not the best way to measure moisture, but this is how I'm doing it. It's convenient, and I don't have to be screwing around here. 12, 13%. Those boards have been in there for quite a while. So 13%. This one here has a little crack in it. Had the crack when I started it. 15%, 14%. So you can see that the kiln's working pretty well. This side over in here has been in there for about a month or so. This side here has only been in here for a couple of weeks. So it's important to keep track of the moisture content in the wood, because even though it looks dry, it's obvious that there is moisture in it. Let me just, yeah, so that's 19 or 20%, somewhere around there. So it's too much moisture in it to really use it for anything at this point. So now to compare that, I sold this white oak here. The guy hasn't come to pick it up yet, but just to give you an example, let's see, this is a maple board, this is white oak here. This has been sitting out here without being in the kiln, and it's been out here for about two weeks, and you're still at 25%. Yeah, this is the side of the board, 30%. So there's still a lot of moisture in the things that haven't been put onto into the kiln. This oak board here, I'm going to flip it over because it rained last night. This will give me a better representation of what it was. You're looking at 27% there. So 27, 28%. When you compare that, that's the scab that came off of, or the flitch came off of these boards right here. So you can see that 1 week has reduced that almost 10 points. I'll say 8 points, so it's 22% here. But that out there is almost 30%. So the kiln is working as far as I'm concerned. And I think I need to give this another month, because of this new wood I put in here. And another month is not going to hurt this other oak over here. One thing nice about this kiln, and I think it has a lot to do with the area where we're at. Because there's a lot of trees here, you know, the ground, and not just the ground, but the air within the trees holds a good amount of moisture. And with the temperatures getting cooler now, like right now it's unseasonably warm. And even though it's only 62 over there, the past week we've had temperatures in the 30s at night and then 50s during the day, and that's changed. But it's only changed because I think of the hurricane that they had, Irma. We might have had some wind blowing up from the south. So another month for that, and I think it'll be good. Just takes time, and that's the problem with wood. I think it's really important that if you're going to buy a sawmill, that you build a kiln. It doesn't matter if you build a solar kiln like this, or if you build a kiln out of an old box truck or anything. Just build a kiln and be able to remove moisture and have good airflow, because if you don't, you're assuming the wood is dry just by the look or the touch. But once you start cutting into it and trying to do work with it, you'll find that you'll have all kind of problems. So it's better to have patience and to have the kiln first. Before you ever start running the sawmill, have the kiln built. Because as soon as you cut the wood, you should take it from the kiln or from the sawmill and put it right into the kiln without wasting any time. Because if you waste time, all you're doing is giving yourself grief with the boards that you had. Now, this oak seems to be doing really well in here, and it seems like oak takes a little longer to dry than what the pines do. But I had cut a bunch of eastern white pine, and I'll show you on a video what the moisture contents of those are. And they are not in a kiln, they're in my greenhouse, although it's similar to a kiln. So I'm going to let just stop this video now, and I'll go make another one about that. If I can join them, I will. If not, you have to watch 2 of them. But anyway, that's where we stand at the moment. Those top boards, where are we at here? Right on the top there. Those are my rafters. I cut the rafters for the cover I want to build for over top of the thing there. I got to get some 10-footers. I cut everything mostly 8'3" to fit it in the kiln. And I gotta cut some 10-footers. I have some logs that long, so I gotta just go and get them. That's maple, but it'll be covered under roof, so I'm not worried about it rotting or anything. Anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. And like I say, it's a rainy day in Pennsylvania. On another note, this bin here, which you can see is empty now. This is empty. Was filled with sawdust. I read an article about blueberries, and we have blueberry bushes up here on another part of the property, and blueberry bushes like the acid from oak. So I took the sawdust and I made a big area around my blueberry bushes where the sawdust can keep the weeds out and stuff. And I think that it's a little experiment for me. We'll see how it works next spring. This way it'll have a whole winter here to soak in or whatever and pack down and keep the weeds out. So I'll let you know how that turns out as well. So, and I got to cut this big boy here. Let me get a tape measure. Now this isn't 8 foot long. I think this thing's only 7 foot. Let me see what we got here. Had a heck of a time cutting this edge off with my little 170 saw. Yeah, this thing's only 6'3". I'm almost not wanting to cut it because I don't know what to do with the wood since the kiln is filled. But I was hoping for it to be white oak. It ended up being red oak. I still haven't been able to determine from the bark what the kind of tree it is, except for beech, because that's a smooth bark. But it's a big log. What do we got here across the biggest? Yeah, it's 33 inches there across the biggest end. Let's see, 30 inches high. So I'll be able to take this and, I don't know, probably get about this much of it off. But I gotta see what it looks like when I open it up. And again, you always put the small end up towards the head, so you know you can figure out the cant as you're going. See, it's only 22 inches here. So yeah, 22 inches is pretty nice and round. I also raised this up 3 inches here to get the center of the tree parallel to the bunk. So that's where that has to be. And what I'll do is I'll keep the those boards underneath the log until after I cut 2 flat sides that I can lay this thing down on. Wherever, as long as there's bark on the bottom here, on the bottom wherever the bunk lays, it has to be on top of those 2 boards, these 2 pieces here that are holding it up 3 inches. Alright, so anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. I'll leave the sun hit this place and dry it up a little bit. We had a good rainstorm last night, and now it's everything's soaked. So it should dry up, and then I'll be out here doing some stuff. But for now, I need to work on one of my trucks. Okay, YouTube, have a good one, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye.